Eyewitness 12 News with Managing Editor Nick Clooney, Ira Joe Fisher's AccuWeather, and Sports Director Dennis Jansen.
Good evening, everyone. In tonight's news, the battle lines were drawn tonight between the residents of Covington's Riverside Drive neighborhood and some city officials. The issue is development along the Riverfront area, but as Eyewitness 12's Edie Magnus reports, for the residents, they believe that what's at stake is the survival of their neighborhood.
The residents of Riverside Drive pride themselves on living in a historically preserved, serene neighborhood with its glorious views of the Cincinnati skyline. But they say the whole character of the place is threatened if the city of Covington gets its wish to build Riverfront Park.
What Covington stands to gain is taking 13.5 acres of its riverfront that currently is filled with debris, filled with weeds, filled with broken glass, filled with a graffiti-laden flood wall, and turn it into a green belt. We're not trying to create a tourist trap in front of their community. We are trying to create a tourist attraction.
But Riverside dwellers bitterly disagree. In a lengthy public hearing before the Army Corps of Engineers, they argued the plan to develop concrete overlooks extending out into the river will be an eyesore, blighting the area they have fought for years to preserve.
What this development is going to do is seriously affect and jeopardize the residential and historic character of the Riverside East neighborhood.
In addition, the residents claim the plan would pose safety hazards by increasing both automobile and pedestrian traffic. And they say the additional noise, parking, and litter would violate the privacy of their neighborhood. The Army Corps colonel who presided over tonight's public hearing says it'll be at least 3 months before a decision is made whether or not to grant Covington permission to develop the riverfront. He did say that the Riverside Drive residents made a pretty good case against it this evening.
In terms of reasoned opposition, reasoned answers, and also a deference to the rights and the opinions of other people. And in that respect, I think this was probably the most successful hearing I've attended.
Edie Magnus, Eyewitness 12 News, Covington.
Thank you, Edie. Something else there in Covington. Beginning August 15th, the city of Covington is requiring all trucks carrying hazardous material through the city to get a permit to do it. City Solicitor Joe Condit says the ordinance passed unanimously tonight is not meant to restrict hauling of such materials, but to let the fire department know about it ahead of time. Trucks will have to have a sticker showing they've gotten that permit. Condit says the fine for violating the ordinance will be $500 or 6 months in jail. You should remember that I-75 goes through Covington. Some residents at the Garden Hilltop Apartments in Winton Terrace are having another problem tonight. Tenants say that 5 apartments, all on the basement floor of 5322 Varsity Circle, are experiencing sewage overflow. They say it began about 10 o'clock tonight. They've been unable to get in touch with the apartment manager, Chelsea Moore. You may remember there's an ongoing controversy between Chelsea Moore and the city of Cincinnati over needed repairs at the apartments. 100 families face eviction from their homes elsewhere in the area unless improvements are made. Now, the strike at U.S. Playing Card in Norwood goes on. More differences have now begun to surface between the strikers and some of the Norwood City Fathers. Just 2 weeks ago, Norwood Council passed a resolution supporting the strikers. There was only one dissenting vote then. Well, tonight, Mayor Don Cruz sent a letter vetoing that resolution.
We've got a couple of weeks to think this over, and then they have a chance to override that veto. Do you think they're going to do it?
I think we're going to find out who's for labor in Norwood and who isn't.
The one no vote 2 weeks ago was that of Councilwoman Donna Lake. She said tonight she thought the city shouldn't take sides. She says her family is now paying for that one vote.
My son plays on a nine-hole team with one of the strikers, and it was hard for him to explain. Just comments for a 6-year-old little boy are very hard to understand when he doesn't know what does mother do.
Meantime, the union members want everyone to know how they feel about Norwood's mayor and the veto.
We do intend to boycott Norwood businesses during this time to show our disapproval of the kind of mayor they have here who would veto almost every labor issue that comes up.
The strikers say management wants too many wage concessions at U.S. Playing Card. They also charge the company is hiring non-union workers to replace them. Layoffs at Cincinnati's Lunkenheimer Company have prompted a meeting tomorrow by employees. 130 workers will be laid off effective Friday. In addition, workers say the company is moving some of its work to Alabama. Lunkenheimer makes industrial valves.
They intend on
moving bronze machining, from what I understand, down to Alabama, and they're trying to figure out new foundries to do the foundry work for here, so they can close this one because they don't want to spend the money.
Possibility of moving work south, and actually has some union members upset. Lunkenheimer officials were unavailable for comment. Vicki Mock, the former Campbell County deputy jailer, will apparently be spending a year behind bars in addition to paying a $750 fine. Mock was found guilty today on charges of aiding in the sale of drugs to an undercover agent. But the jury was hung on a separate charge against Mock on drug trafficking. In court today, an undercover narcotics agent testified he went to Mock's apartment January 11th and bought 12 Valium tablets after a third party prearranged the deal. He also testified that Mock introduced him to another man for the purpose of buying marijuana. Witnesses for the defense testified that Mock was not involved in the drug purchases. Mock took the stand herself, saying she thought the charges were part of a setup. Mock still faces an unrelated charge of promoting contraband at the Campbell County Jail. A motorcycle accident in Loveland tonight sent 2 people to the hospital. 15-year-old Melissa McGee is in critical condition with head injuries at Bethesda North. Her father, 36-year-old Bernie McGee, is in serious condition. Both were riding on the motorcycle when authorities say it collided with a car at the intersection of Loveland Madera Road and Lebanon Road. Police are still investigating. Coming up next, possible clue to the cause of that Air Canada fire at Greater Cincinnati Airport last month. The number of Americans continues to grow. The Census Bureau reports that the latest estimate puts the population at just under 234 million of us. That's nearly 7 million more people than were counted during the 1980 census and over 2 million more than just 1 year ago. New developments in any field create questions about possible dangers that might be involved, and the computer industry is no exception. A major study was done recently to test the health hazards of using the machines. Rita Flynn has the results.
Though video display terminals have forever changed the way the modern world handles its paperwork, the technology also has prompted some new worries. Fears that radiation from the terminals could pose a health hazard. Some workers have complained of vision problems like severe eye strain and cataracts. For pregnant women, there's been concern about possible miscarriage. Those alarms prompted a major study by scientists and psychologists for the National Research Council, who after 2 years found there's nothing to be afraid of. David Sliney worked on the project.
Again, there simply is no reason for concern. All of the scientific evidence that we have on radiation-induced cataracts indicate that levels thousands of times greater than what you would accumulate over lengthy use of these types of devices would be necessary to produce those sorts of things.
In concluding that radiation levels from the terminals are extremely low, the researchers said there's more of a threat in the rays of the sun. Rita Flynn, ABC News, Washington.
Well, there'll be plenty of rays of the sun coming up in weather. You'll need iced tea and poolside if possible this weekend. The numbers will be in the 90s, Ira says.
Hi, I'm Laura Soller, and Monday on PM Magazine, we'll attend Jimmy Stewart's hometown birthday party. He's 75 and returning home for a super celebration. And then we'll discover the latest in dental health care. PM's travel family visits Memphis, Tennessee, and Rhonda Connect gets a lesson in skeet shooting. So join us Monday at 7:30 for PM Magazine.
Fix it up, clean it up. You can do it. We can help at Nationwide. This week, come to Nationwide and save on clean-running, fuel-efficient 1-, 2-, and 4-barrel Cardo carburetors. Get a 1-barrel carburetor, just $29.95. Save on a 2-barrel, only $44.95. And a 4-barrel Cardo carburetor is just $64.95. Now at Nationwide.
You can do it all, and we can help with all the good advice you need.
Come to Nationwide, your low-price, good advice auto parts store.
Home State Savings Bank presents the gift of silver. Just deposit $1,000 or more into a Home State Silver Saver account and you'll receive a free coin of pure silver. And you'll beat traditional passbook rates because the Silver Saver account gives you 8% interest with an effective annual yield of 8.45. Higher interest and a gift of silver. The Silver Saver Daily Interest Account, only at Home State Savings Bank.
Men, be glad you waited to replenish your summer wardrobe. Shop Nadler's semi-annual clearance sale and save 20 to 70% throughout the store. Famous name sport coats, now half price. This impeccably styled sport coat by Nob Hill, regularly $125, now just $62.50. This $200 suit by Nob Hill, now just $139. Get the best savings of the season during Nadler's semi-annual clearance sale. Why shop anywhere else?
As they used to say in the big band days, one more time.
One more time.
Right. We better do it one more time.
Yeah, we better talk weather here.
That's a very good idea, Ira.
Okay, let's look first at our satellite picture. I guess they have satellite pictures in New York, but maybe they won't, and I'll look forward to that. We have a high-pressure ridge that does control our weather, but we do also have some clouds that have kind of popped up in the atmosphere just because there's so darn much humidity, moisture in the air, and the warm temperatures from the sun beating down upon us, so some instability thunder showers have resulted. Now, they are calming down, but there is still a chance in some places that some might still occur. A couple of the Augustas, and I don't mean the Kentucky variety, figured in the weather news today. A tornado at Augusta, Georgia, and large hail at Augusta, Maine. And no reported damage or injury in either place. Our high, 94, the highest temperature hit in 1983 in Cincinnati, but the fourth day on which it was hit today. And our overnight low was 70. Right now we are at 79 degrees. Probably the most relevant thing that we could possibly say at this point is that it certainly goes without saying, but for heaven's sakes, I am going to say it. And when I say Cincinnati here, I definitely mean all parts of the tri-state, and I mean it from the very bottom of my heart, and I will indeed miss you. Let's get back to the world of weather. Our relative humidity is 76%, and our barometer is steady at 30.02 inches. Our winds right now are from the southwest at 4 miles an hour. No rain today. Temperature at 79 Fahrenheit is 26 Celsius, and our river level is down 25.9 feet. Let's check that radar picture. On it, we will see what is really a lot of false echo. We probably do have some showers embedded in all of that nonsense that is due south of Cincinnati, but it'd be hard to pick it out. AccuWeather says this for tonight. We'll have thunderstorms calming down, but still it'll be hazy and humid with patches of fog developing later on and variable winds less than 5 miles an hour. Our low temperature will be 73. Now tomorrow we'll have the humidity with us unabated. It'll be hazy. We'll have some sunshine and also a few thunderstorms, likely in the late afternoon or evening. Okay, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, and our high temperature tomorrow 95 degrees. Now, tomorrow night, it'll be muggy with patches of fog, low temperature 73. That's tomorrow night when you're watching Don Burrows giving sports. On Sunday, we'll have hazy sunshine. It'll be humid with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon or evening. Our high temperature will be, again, 95 degrees. And on Monday, hazy sunshine and humid with a chance of thunderstorms. Tuesday, hazy sunshine and humid with a chance of thunderstorms. High on Monday and Tuesday, 93 degrees. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, wow, will it already be hazy? That's not a question. And it'll be sunny, and the temperature will be 78
Is now when you're going to tell them? Now when you're going to tell them?
About what?
About how it's all a big joke and publicity stunt? That you aren't going anywhere?
Yeah.
You just signed a new 10-year contract with us?
Believe me, I'm sorely tempted to do that, but so much water has passed.
Nothing is. You're not going to get away. Could you do me a favor, Carl? I want you to know what we've been putting up with for 3 years here, folks. Looks very neat and tidy, doesn't he? I want you to see the footwear here. Would you please? This is what this gentleman has been wearing now for 3 years.
I get the secret comes out.
I think it's about time.
I know it takes a while to focus on these chubby feet. Go ahead there.
Did you find them yet? There they are. That's it, folks.
Listen, how do you think we keep cool and calm and collected here, for heaven's sakes? We're talking 95 degrees. We're not talking Tom McCann's buckle up to your knee booties. We're talking about something that keeps your toesies cool.
But what was your excuse back in the winter?
All right. I guess you caught me. See, then we put little studs in the tread. You see what we do here?
That's Mahatma Fisher, right?
I am so embarrassed. I have never been so embarrassed in my life.
We're not quite through with you yet, all right?
Thank you, guys.
Took most of the day, but Mount Adams residents have their water service restored tonight. An area around Paradrome was without service following a water main break shortly. Look at this. Isn't this incredible? Shortly before 2 o'clock this afternoon, an amateur photographer took these pictures with the water drenching the house. The cause for the break, which created a large crater in the street, is unknown. Up next, sports. The Reds pick up another one on the road. Denny will be here with details.
Here's an incredible offer from Globe Furniture. Buy any item during our special July sale, and we'll give you 12 months. That's 1 full year to pay with absolutely no finance charges. And we're offering super low, down-to-earth sale prices on brand name furniture. That's this month only at Globe Furniture, downtown and Findlay Market.
Hey, know what's a smile long and a smile wide?
What? Long John Silver's fish sandwich platter.
Wow! Let Long John Silver's put a smile on your taste.
Our fish sandwich is a smile long, because we make it fresh with Long John's fish fillet.
And a smile wide on a platter with fresh slaw and fries at a price that'll make you smile.
Let Long John Silver's put a smile on your taste.
There's a new kind of Buick available in America. If you'd like an American car with many of the features of a German import, we've got it. Buick Century. And it's available at your Better Buy Buick dealers. Front-wheel drive Buick Century. Looks like a Mercedes, but costs thousands of dollars less. Buick Century is an American car import buyers are turning to. So join your Better Buy Buick dealers this month for a celebration of the century. See you tomorrow.
Attention every appliance, TV, and stereo fan, buff enthusiast, devotee, aficionado, maven, and admirer. For a limited time only, save on thousands of items at Steinberg's. Appliances, stereos, TVs, and more. For a limited time only, get this Sansui 20-watt AM/FM stereo receiver for only $112. And get this RCA 19-inch color TV with automatic color control for just $296. Save on thousands of items, now through Tuesday, only at Steinberg's.
Bet there were times that Mario never thought he would win 10 ball games this year.
He has dropped his suit for non-support. You know, Judge, Clerk of Courts Robert Jennings has been informed that he is recanted here. After several tries, Mario Soto chalked up win number 10 tonight, getting just enough offense from his club while holding the Phillies in check 3-2. The Phils got a run in the first inning as Pete Rose singled Bobby Dernier to third. Dernier scored on a Von Hayes sacrifice fly. Mario then pitched out of a bases-loaded two-out jam thereafter to prevent any more burnt damage. Mario retired Dernier to end the second, but had to tag him twice on the swinging bunt. Watch this now. Big collision. Mario loses control of the ball. He beats him to the bag. You're out. The Reds still trail 1-0 in the sixth inning when Nick Osowski, the rookie third baseman, finds the hole in right center. Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. Danny Dreesen scored to tie it. And then Cesar Cedeno beat Larry Milburn's relay for the ultimate game-winning RBI. Cesar safe at the plate. Still, Danny Dreesen chipped in with his seventh homer to give the Reds the precious third run they would need. This is a solo shot in the eighth inning, and the Reds were on top 3-1. Soto gave up another gopher ball to Joe LaFay in the eighth, but struck out Matthews to win it. Mario's 10th complete game, tops in the majors, his first win in the last three starts. Reds had scored just 3 runs for him in those 3 losses. Not since Pete Rose departed have the Reds had an official team captain until tonight. Manager Russ Nixon announced at a team meeting that shortstop Davey Concepcion will assume the mantle of on-field leader. While the Reds were in Philadelphia, there was action at Riverfront. Reds interim general manager Bob Housen holding court for the local media and declaring that the Reds dress code wouldn't change, but that this team would become an exciting club even if the Reds had to enter the free agent market.
You must realize I didn't use a free agency, but there was a reason. I didn't need it. Now we need certain things. We're going to have to look.
The Western Division leaders against the runner-up in the East. Expos Atlanta tonight. This one belongs to the Braves 9-3. Houston shuts out New York 6-0. Late one's just underway. Padres and Pirates, Cards and Giants, Cubs and Dodgers. The AL East leader, Toronto, traveled to the second city to face the second-place White Sox of the West. They're in the eighth. White Sox on top 2-1. Elsewhere in the American League, Oakland a 10-7 winner over Boston. Baltimore downs California 10-4. Kansas City shuts out Cleveland 10-0. New York shades Texas 7-5. Milwaukee doubles up on Minnesota 6-3. Just underway, Detroit at Seattle. The Met Tennis Championships continue tonight out at the Lunken Airport Playfield. And number 1 seeded Bill Lofgren seen playing here. Outmaneuvered, get it, Phil Heimlich 6-1, 6-1. Other seeded players advancing. Number 7, Frank Harrington defeated Rob Hagelin 1 in love. Number 3 seed Steve Brown 1 love and love. And number 9 seed John Torrance advanced in straight sets 1-0. After 2 rounds of the British Open, 3 of golf's biggest names are atop the leaderboard. Big names, literally. Craig Stadler, who tied the course record yesterday with the 7-under-64, was 1 under today to maintain his lead, though by only 1 stroke, as the Super Mix. Lee Trevino made the biggest move, a 5-under-66, including 6 birdies on the round. Defending champion Tom Watson is tied with Trevino after a 66 today. to go along with his first round 69. Watson has been the most consistent of the top golfers, although England's native son Nicky Faldo carded another 68 today. His 136 leaves him 2 strokes back. Beth Daniels hangs on to a 3-stroke lead in the McDonald's Classic. She's at 6 under after a 71 today in 96-degree heat. Joanne Carter and Sandra Haney tied for second. Kathy Whitworth alone in third. Short form for the 8th and feature race at Riverdowns this afternoon, 1 mile and 70 yards the distance for an allowance purse of $5,300. And coming home first in 147 and a fifth is number 5, Rising Profits, the 360, 260, 220. You'll see the payoffs here. Number 2, Our Best, the place entry. Number 6, Tardy, 280 to show. 4 and 7, A Lot of White and Tom Fleet combined to return 65-20 in the double. Racing this weekend at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington. This is the Cincinnati Region's annual show, and they do it up big. Paul Newman will start on the pole in tomorrow's GT1 amateur race. Elliott Forbes Robinson is the pole sitter for Sunday's Red Roof Trans Am race. Cincinnati and John Osteen will not be racing as he is recovering from a separated shoulder. He might drive the pace car. At Latonia tonight, number 2, Kid Scholar, number 5, Jan Go, combined return 36-20. And Michael Spinks pulled out of a light heavyweight bout with Eddie Mustafa tonight, 4 hours before fight time, after the match was downgraded to a 10-rounder instead of a title fight because Muhammad was overweight. That cut Spinks cut to $500,000 instead of a cool $1 million. Spinks took the title from Muhammad 2 years ago in Las Vegas. He came in today 2.5 pounds overweight. In saying my just dues and departures to Ira Joe, I would like to say that I am a better professional for having worked with you, and I am certainly a better person for having known you. I will miss your friendship, but thank you for being my friend.
Thank you, Dennis. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, I have not been looking forward to this, and neither have you. It's time to say goodbye to Ira Joe. We've all known since we were little people that nothing lasts forever, and our friend Ira is going to Wkrc-Tv. He and his young family are taking on the challenge of New York, and that big, exciting, sophisticated, confident group of city dwellers will never know what hit them. They'll succumb just as we did without a struggle. They won't be able to help themselves. They'll melt at his sense of wonder and laugh at his sense of fun just as we did. I envy them. Often in the last 3 years I've had to report to you that pieces of our community were coming apart, and then when I was finished, Ira would gently remind us that the sun would still warm us, the rain would still drench us, the wind would cool us, and all would come right after all. That was a very important thing to do, and I will miss it. So I must ask Ira to leave something of his with us. A little of his sense of wonder, a bit of his sense of fun. There will be days ahead when we will need it. A moment ago I said nothing lasts forever. I was wrong about that. Memories, Ira. Memories. Our time is up, my friends. I'd like to thank you very much for being with us. For those you see and when you won't see in these environs again.